Hey guys, welcome to CCEditLab. Hashtag CCEditLab. Darren, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And this is Edit with Me, another iteration of Edit with Me. So, what it is one of the photographers in our creative community shares a raw image, and then we go and edit it. Antonia and I have been posting videos for the last maybe 2 months or so, every second week of an Edit with Me challenge, and we'd really love it if you would like to join in, submit your raw images to the community that we can all edit together and see how differently we can edit, and also just edit the images that are submitted, and then if you do, please be sure to share that with us, credit the original photographer, and let's learn from each other and have fun. So let's get at it. I'll see you guys in Lightroom. Be sure to subscribe and check out the other photography and creative related stuff. Just trying to build community and keep making stuff, so that's what this is about. So let's get going. Cool, we're in Lightroom now, and this is Sean's image. It's an amazing image of his wife out in a pink straw field. Just really, really beautiful. So what I'm going to do is what I generally do at the start. Go to optics, enable lens correction and remove chromatic aberration, and then I'd like to adjust the framing a touch before I even get going, and usually a trick that, well, not a trick, but like something that's standard in photography is to keep on the line of thirds, so, and she's looking towards the left side of the photo, so I'm going to leave that space open, looking down into the left. So that's the space. Now if we look at that, that might seem a little bit better, maybe a little bit too cropped in, so let me crop out a bit, keep like that. I think looks pretty decent. Maybe bring in a touch here, because we've got a lot of a negative space, so you don't want the image to see overweighted, but you still want more space to be left on the side that she's looking towards. You don't want to cut that off generally, although I mean rules are made to be broken. Cool, and then I'm going to go, this is a landscape shot, so you can see just the difference between color and Adobe Landscape, so already so much better. And then I'm going to do auto adjustments here just to see if I can set the tone. It's very yellow, so I think I want to adjust the white balance somewhat. Also, what is that? Just a random blue flare there, so I might have to crop that out or see if I can repair it with healing. Cool, so let's just do curves. I like to do curves. I think I want to open up the contrast here a little bit. There we go. Also like to reduce the yellow tone, so if I go to blue, and then let's see if I just bring the yellow out a little bit. There we go, there. Yellow in the mids, that's the mid section of curves. A little bit more in the highs. There we go. Another cool thing that you can do is you can do this drop selector and then put it on where you would like to, so like what you would like to change in the curves and the color. So I just did that. Let me see, let's bring up the exposure a touch and up the contrast. I want it to be quite punchy, and I think the highlights are pretty good. Actually can lower the shadows, and I think we can darken the blacks. You want to see the dark in the straw there. I think that looks really cool. So let me just try fix this quickly, this random blue spot, see if I can fix it and make it look a little bit natural. Spot heal saves the day. Cool, so a random blue spot, maybe a flare or something. Okay, we don't need to do anything in sharpening. I'd like to boost the clarity a touch and up the texture quite a deal. Okay, cool. Let's go to color. Let's remove this vibrancy. I think it was a bit too vibrant. Boost the saturation a touch. Okay, but there's too much yellow Okay, what are we adjusting here? Hue. A bit too much yellow. Now if we go too far to the pink, I think I might have to mask her. Might be a bit too oversaturated. Cool. I generally, I mean, if you look at that, that's just ridiculous how yellow that is. It's way too yellow. So let's bring the saturation quite a bit down. I'm liking that. Let's bring the vibrancy a touch up a bit more. Okay, and I actually want to give it a bit of a matte look. So let me go here. I'm going to add another point in here so that I can just adjust this. So if we, there we go, although the hair is looking a bit too there, losing some detail in the hair. The changes are pretty subtle if you mess around with this. There we go, that looks pretty decent. And then, okay, I want to boost that pink quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is go to the pinks here, and I'm going to boost the saturation a touch and the luminance so they stand out. I think let's go more towards pink here, boost the saturation even more. Let's see what that does, sliding along the luminance. The pink does stand out quite a bit. Okay, let's up that a little. And do a little bit of purple. You'll probably find that there is some purple in those pinks, so I'm going to just do that. Let's see now if I do a selector, choose the pink, see that although it's changing her sweater as well, which is not really what I want. So let's mask her out. Subject, let's see how well, it does really well. Okay, we're gonna just increase the contrast there, and I'd like to up the highlights. Upping the highlights generally helps, I find, in the hair, like to bring out the texture of the hair, because each strand might have a slight highlight. Cool. And I want to bring the temperature a little bit more. Too much yellow. Just a touch there of the saturation a little bit, and I'd like to, let's see, might be a bit too much clarity there. I think if we zoom in here, let's see what that does. I think maybe also if you reduce clarity on the masked portrait, it generally makes the person's skin look a lot better. That's not a comment, just that's a trick. So if we do that, you can see clarity also darkens the image a lot. So yeah, let's reduce the clarity, add a bit of texture there, just look at the hair, add some texture, remove the texture. So let's go add a bit there. Cool. Up the sharpness a touch here. Awesome. Okay, so then I'll do another mask and do the background. Let's see how well that does. That does awesome. And then I'll reduce the exposure of the background a little bit, just so that she stands out a lot more. Bring up those highlights, drop the blacks, open the whites so that you can see the difference. Bump up the saturation, although I want to try and remove some yellow. And here, okay, I also don't want the clarity as much, but the texture is what we're going for. So yeah, we're going to do that. Let's take a look. That's before the edit, and that's with the edit. There's still a little bit too much yellow here that I'm not so happy with. Really. That might be a bit better. Let's just maybe just reduce the saturation a touch. That might help a little. Just see there's a little bit of yellow spots, and the luminance. We darken the button. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's just check now. No man. There we go, that's looking better. And I think I want to do an Antonio trick and add a linear gradient just to kind of bring in Sean's wife a bit more into focus. So I'm going to add one from the bottom left coming up, kind of, and then I'm just going to darken that a touch and up the contrast, and then I'm going to add one from the other side coming in down just a little bit, so like that, and then this time I'm going to up. Okay, yeah, cool contrast, and then I think maybe a radial gradient, although that might be difficult. Okay, let's just check what that looks like now, before the edit, after the edit. Okay, also, yeah, let's add a little bit of vignette. I have already done the masking too, but let's just darken everything around there. And I think we can maybe, it seems like it's on a winter's day. Like, that's when the straw starts to fade and fall. So let's see, this is overly warm. Let's cool it down a touch, brings out the purples and the pinks. I think that looks really cool. Okay. Up the detail, don't really up the detail all that much. I'm actually wondering if I should maybe try crop this a little bit more. So still leave that space there, but just maybe it was a bit too much. Maybe fill more of the image with, there we go, yeah, I think that looks much better actually. Yeah, I'm liking that. Cool, and then I think, let's just check here. The contrast is a little bit too high. Boost the shadows a touch, and the whites. Okay, the whites need a drop. And I think I'm done. Before, after, before, after. Such a drastic change. And yeah, that's the power of editing and Lightroom and a raw image. So if you like the edit, let me know in the comments if you'd like to join the community and submit your own raw image, or yeah, edit someone else's photo. That would be really cool. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and yeah, yeah, thanks guys. That was CCEditLab, edit with me, Sean's image. Check out his Instagram. I'll put his links as well down below so you can check them out. Thanks guys, just keep making stuff.